Morning, and you're very welcome to this morning to our employee recognition webinar, The Future of Recognition. I'd like to thank everybody for coming along and joining us this morning. And we're going to kick off in a few minutes, but we're just going to give a few more minutes for people I can see logging in to continue to join us. In the meantime, what would be really useful and really interesting for me is if people could use the Q&A function, which is down at the bottom of your screen, just to let me know what part of Ireland or what part of the world are you joining us from this morning, and we'll see what breadth of attendees we have. So if you can, in the Q&A, just put in what part of the world you're joining us from today. That would be fantastic, and we'll get going properly then in a few minutes. So I've got Cork, we've got Minnesota, USA. Welcome. Kildare, Cork are being represented strongly. We've got Shannon in County Clare, Wexford, beautiful Sligo. I hope the weather's nice in Sligo. We've got Dublin, we've got Wexford, Kilkenny, County Clare, Killaloe, Westport, all very nice places. Dublin, West Cork, it's fantastic. So we have got a good breadth of people. Only one person from outside the island of Ireland today. So far, so we'll see who else joins us later on. So we'll just give another 1 or 2 more minutes before we get into the presentation. And anyone else who would like to use and practice actually the Q&A function, just to let us know what part of the world you're joining us from, that would be fantastic. England, fantastic, Bracknell. Thanks, Megan, for joining us. And just give it 1 more minute before we start. Okay, so we'll get underway. So once again, thank you for joining us for the Future of Employee Recognition. Delighted you could join us today. I'm here in our office in Dublin with my colleague Aileen, who's my co-panelist on the webinar today. So we'll get straight into it, if that's all right. To win in the marketplace, you must first win in the workplace. This is a quote from Doug Conant, a former CEO of Campbell Soup, and it's one I really think sums up a lot of what we're going to talk about today. How do you win in the marketplace by first winning in the workplace? What is the future of employee recognition? When we look at the workplace of today, you hear a lot of phrases to do with staff turnover, the Great Resignation, although that's probably past its peak a little bit. There's a lot of talk about workplace flexibility, remote working, hybrid working, employee burnout. There's a strong job market out there still, but there's challenges around pay demands, work culture, employee engagement, and disengaged or disconnected employees. So we hear that a lot from HR professionals that we work with, and every year we do a HR trend survey, which takes the pulse of what's happening in the world of HR on an annual basis and compares it with what's going on in the past. And we'll make that available to anybody on this webinar who wants to get into the details of it. And some of the stats you'll see today are reflected in that survey that we've just completed. So engagement and recognition, these are 2 concepts that are intertwined, closely aligned. And I just wanted to set the scene by giving our definition of what these mean. Engagement, employee engagement, is, in our world, the willingness to give discretionary effort to a job. So it's something that employees do that they maybe don't have to do. And when we look at engagement and our annual HR trend survey, this has been the #1 priority for HR professionals in each of the last 3 years. So their #1 priority, the #1 thing that they'd like to be able to deal with is employee engagement. But, you know, it's a multifaceted, multidisciplinary approach. It isn't a one quick fix thing. However, it is closely correlated with employee recognition, which is what we're going to focus on today. Employee recognition, we define as acknowledging, thanking, and celebrating employees for their engagement. So for the things that they're doing that maybe they don't have to do, for their discretionary effort. That's what recognition is about. And it can have a huge bearing on engagement, and as we'll see later on business results in the company itself. Our premise in AllGo is that proactively recognizing people for their good work delivers astonishing business results. And when I say astonishing, I mean astonishing. And these are results that are not widely known and widely recognized, for want of a better term. But we're going to get into that now. What are these results that we're talking about that employee recognition, if done correctly, can bring to a company? Well, believe it or not, it can reduce staff turnover by 30%. It can decrease absenteeism by 22%, and it can boost productivity by 9%. Now, these are all based on scientific surveys, and I'll be happy to share with anyone afterwards the source for all of this, all of these statistics that we're going to present today. I haven't put them in here now because there's just too many of them, but we'll be following up with a detailed sort of recognition ROI document afterwards where you can see where all of these results have come from. So reduction in staff turnover, increase in staff presenteeism, and a boost in productivity. That's what recognition. And by doubling the amount of recognition, it is estimated that a company can gain 10,380 euros per employee on average per year. And that is off the charts. They are results that you're not going to find in very many other places in a company so readily to identify and to address. But how do you do this? So, or why is this the case? Well, it is the case because praise and recognition is the second biggest motivating factor for Irish employees from our HR Trend Survey. Employees who know and understand company values are 30 times more likely to be fully engaged in the company. If you as an employee get 7 to 10 recognition moments per year, then that halves the chances of you voluntarily leaving. So it doubles the employee loyalty quotient, if you like. Employees who are recognized twice every quarter feel significantly more appreciated and are significantly more engaged. Employees who feel recognized at work are less likely to be looking for job opportunities, 5 times as likely to feel connected to the culture of the company, and 4 times as likely to recommend the organization to others. And 92% of employees who work with an integrated recognition program are more likely to stay for the next 3 years. So study after study after study, survey after survey after study says recognition is one of those things that is almost like a no-brainer. If you do it right, you will get more buy-in, you'll have a better work culture, you'll have less staff turnover, ergo you'll have more productivity and better results. So easy, right? But if that is so as easy, every company is doing it, right? Every company is doing recognition, right? Well, not exactly. 61% of managers say they recognize a few times every week. Okay, so 61% of managers saying, yeah, we do recognition. Yeah, I recognize employees every week. However, 40% of employees say they receive recognition only a few times per year or less. So there's a disconnect. 36% of employees say their company has a recognition program, but 64% of leaders say there's no budget for recognition. So in this stage, there is a disconnect. Companies think they're doing recognition, employees don't feel recognized. And so what it boils down to is only about 1 in 3 companies out there are investing in recognition in a meaningful way, in a way that sort of turns the dial on recognition, in a way that employees feel is real. So what is effective recognition? What is recognition in a meaningful way? Well, it can be broken down into what, who, when, and how. What are you going to recognize? Well, work output, obviously. Going the extra mile, work results, living the company values, employee of the month. You can recognize work milestones, in particular service awards. And that's probably the starting point for every company that goes on the recognition journey, is recognizing employees for doing the one thing that you really want them to do, which is stay around, keep turning up, show loyalty to the company. And then there's other milestones like promotions and other achievements that you can also recognize in that sphere as well. There are also life events like birthdays, weddings, and new babies. This is a little bit touchy-feely, but what it is doing is it's allowing the company to recognize employees for the humans they are and for the private life that affects how they turn up for work and how they view and connect with their company and their colleagues. So they can form a quite important, a smaller but important part of effective recognition. And mostly it's individuals you're recognizing. That's the most effective way to do it. But you can also recognize teams as well. And that, of course, fosters more of a connection, more of a teamwork culture in the company. So you can do both. So who should be recognizing? Well, the most memorable recognition, believe it or not, comes from an employee's own direct line manager. So that's the person that they want to feel most recognized by, or it's most memorable, because they're the people nearest to the action, nearest to the task that they're doing. So they want their manager to recognize them when they make an extra effort or when they go that extra mile. That's even more effective than a high-level leader or CEO or a manager's manager. So the most effective is through your direct line manager, although peer recognition is also highly effective, and it's highly effective in promoting connectedness and a common culture. And peer recognition, as we'll see later on, is also a really good way to bring out the really good work that people are doing in a way that then managers can jump in on and put in extra acknowledgement for. So peer recognition is a great way to bring recognition to the fore. So when should you recognize? The most effective recognition takes place a few times per month. So like, it's not, it doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't even have to be every week, but certainly every second, third week, employees feel that they should, if they're doing something well, that they should be acknowledged for it. And that builds up a habit also and a culture of recognition. So it's semi-regular, that's how it should be done. Or that's when it should be done. How it should be done is it should be authentic. So it should be real. It shouldn't just be a token gesture. It shouldn't just be one of those badges you might get on some systems that says, yeah, great, well done, thanks a million, stay late again tonight. It should be authentic. It should be real. It should be equitable. So one of the biggest complaints about recognition in companies that come to us is that, yeah, they're doing recognition, but it's uneven. Some managers are doing it, some managers are not doing it. Some people feel that they're getting recognized all the time, and others that they're not getting recognized enough. This is a problem, and there's a simple solution to this problem, as we'll see later on. And then recognition should also become part of the culture. It should embed the company culture into the whole workforce, and part of that culture should be the culture of recognizing good work. And that's a self-fulfilling then cultural dividend that a company can get by making recognition part of their culture and making their culture stronger throughout the organization. So with that in mind, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a product that we have called Recognition Hub. Now, we do employee recognition software, and this is what it is. This is what it's going to do. But equally, there are other recognition softwares out there as well. The point I guess I'm trying to make is that recognition software can help with a lot of those challenges, and can also help with a lot of the task of making recognition effective. So the first thing that Algo Recognition Hub does is that puts all your recognition in one place. So you can have peer-to-peer recognition, manager recognition, on-the-spot recognition, service awards, employee of the month, referrals, birthday rewards, performance or team ad hoc rewards. You put all your recognition into one place where it can be then treated the same way across the organization, making it systematic, making it equitable for everybody. And as you'll see later on, there's a lot of benefits that come out of that as well. So it's not just now ad hoc or done in an uneven manner. It can be done in a really well thought out, joined up professional way. So a platform like ours is feature rich. It's a points-based platform with full customization. So what does that mean? It means that you're going to give rewards to your employees in the form of points for doing different things. And those points are totally configurable. You choose the name of the points, what their value is, how you're going to spend them, how you're going to earn them, if they expire, how many to give. So we construct a points-based recognition program, which is ideally suited to each client, and each client is slightly different. The program itself is fully branded for your company, so we don't run any all-go recognition programs apart from our own one, All Go Live, which I'm going to attempt to do a live demo on in a minute. So we brand the program for each of our clients, and some clients get really creative about what they call their program, and they get their creative team to go and come up with a sub brand for recognition on itself. And some of them we just work with and we help make recognition fit with their overall employer brand. But either way, it's going to be branded for each individual client separately. So branded website for staff to interact with, colors, logos, and all the communications that come out of the program are all branded as well. Another great feature is automated recognition, so eliminating program admin and increasing real-time impact. I'm going to go into that a little bit more in a minute. Powerful comms. There's no point in having recognition if you're not going to communicate it, and communicate it proactively and in advance. There's a lot, especially in Ireland, of companies that recognize employees by giving gift card at the end of the year, and that's great, and it's tax-free, and we'll get into a little bit more of that as well. However, that's retrospective, right? And eating bread is soon forgotten. That comms sort of gets lost because it's all about getting the cards out to people. What works more effectively, in our opinion, is a program that has great recognition communication going on throughout the year. So not just once in retrospect at the end of the year, but in real time and ongoing all the way through the year, telling people what they're going to get recognized for, how they're going to earn rewards. And then when they do get rewarded, giving them that information really quickly, and then letting everybody else know in the organization what's going on with recognition so that everybody can feed off the energy that it creates. Part of that powerful comms can be social recognition. So social recognition is where you allow everyone else to share in the celebration of rewards as they're being given out. And that's an optional thing for companies, and there's different levels of it. But and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. But social recognition can be really powerful because it makes recognition transparent, equitable. Everybody can see what's going on, and it really does help engage and employees and foster that culture of recognition that we're trying to achieve. Obviously, it includes insights and analytics. So by having recognition in one place, you can actually get insights into how the organization is developing, what individuals are doing, what different teams are doing in terms of recognition, what different managers are doing in a powerful way that you just don't get if you don't centralize and have a sort of a system for organizing and running employee recognition. It also, of course, gives full budgetary control because a lot of the time recognition can happen sort of below the radar, but also with different budgets and different people doing different things in different parts of the organization without really anyone understanding or knowing what is the overall budget and what is the overall sort of tax implication of having different people go off spending different things on different types of recognition without it being sort of organized and centralized and reported on. It's a mobile app, which we're actually in the process of developing and launching at the moment. So we have a mobile responsive branded website for all our clients at the moment, and the next step will be to put that into the App Store, which we'll be doing at the moment. And that basically will make it a lot stickier and a lot easier for everybody in an organization to walk around with a recognition tool in their pocket at all times. And then the rewards, we've spoken a lot about the good communication and the proactiveness and the engagement of recognition. And that's a lot of the program is about recognition. A lot of the power is in that proactive engagement. The other bit of it is that there is actually a real reward at the end of it, which sort of underlines the value that the company places on recognition. So once you've built up your points, you can then get to spend it. You can build them up, bank them, save them up, and then get them you can either spend them in our reward store online or get them converted into a gift card. And we'll show you the options on that now in a second as well. So I mentioned automating recognition. So this is really, really clear advantage for companies, especially as they get a little bit bigger. I'm talking about anything from 100 employees upwards. It starts to get problematic trying to organize this internally. So things like service awards. So how the system simply works is that if you want to recognize employees for 1, 3, 5, 10, 20, and 40 years, that's configured up in the back end. You put in a message for each of the milestones you want to celebrate and a number of points that you want to give for the employee. On the morning of their milestone, they get emailed their reward with a personal message from the company, and those points get added to their total, and it appears as a shout out on their timeline when they log into the website. Same with birthdays. That could be a small little token, but it's a nice fun thing to do. As a life event, happens to everybody once a year, whether we like it or not. And that's a good way for the company to connect, like I said, with the personal side of an employee as well. So a small token, number of points, and a nice message. It's a great way to start the day if you're celebrating your birthday at work. And then for ad hoc rewards, so say you want to have employee of the month or have a performance side of it where you want to measure employees on your own systems, and then at the end of the month calculate how many points that might be worth. You can do that. You can upload it for a single person, for multiple people, for a team of people, and you can email them off an ad hoc reward at any stage as well. Normally specified and predetermined what these ad hoc rewards are going to be throughout the year, and they can be spaced out throughout the year as well, so that there's constant recognition being given and constant feedback and rewards being given for the things that the company really want to see their employees performing. Then the rewards themselves, you're building up your points, which is great. And then there are two choices for the company when they're setting up the program on how these points are going to be spent. Option one is what we call reward store, where built into the application is a store where there's lots and lots of great retail, hospitality, travel, experiential gift cards, and physical or digital and technology products as well. And if you build up enough points, you can go in there and just order whatever you want, and it'll be sent to you directly. If it's digital, within minutes, if it's physical, within 7 days. And that's a great way to engage people, because you can go in all the time and see what your points balance is and what you're maybe saving up for. The second option applies to Ireland only, and it's a tax-free option because, as everybody knows, in Ireland, there's a thing called the small benefit scheme, which allows employers to reward or give a benefit to employees up to 2 times per year, up to a total of €1,000 cumulatively tax-free. So no income tax, universal social charge, or employee or employer PRSI. So it saves 12% straight away for the employer. It saves, depending on the marginal rate of tax, up to 50% tax for the employee. So hugely popular scheme now, since it was increased from €500 to €1,000. This is a way for employers to help both with the cost of living, but also to reward employees. And like I said, many companies are doing this, but in a reactive way at the end of the year. With Recognition Hub platform, you can give points out throughout the year and then have those points convert once a year, or actually up to twice a year, into a tax-free gift card. And because that gift card is only being given out twice a year maximum, and because the limit on it is €1,000, and over that it can be just paid through payroll, that is a tax-free benefit that you can give to your employees twice a year, but you can tie it in to a really powerful recognition program throughout the year. I mentioned insights before, and of course, insights are really important. You get insights using recognition software because you can see and measure and analyze all the recognition that's taking place. You can set the budgets, and you can report on those budgets afterwards to make sure that they're being adhered to, and you can ensure tax compliance, which, especially in Ireland now with the introduction of enhanced revenue reporting, is sort of getting more and more important. So revenue want to know every time that you reward your employee with a small benefit reward, and so this helps report on that, because it'll give you the data of who got rewarded when and why, and it'll avoid the situation where other rewards are out there somewhere in the organization not being tax compliant, because all of this will be in a single system. So proven results. We spoke a lot about results earlier on. Our clients have 90% employee engagement when they use Recognition Hub. They see a 22% increase in employee satisfaction scores to do with recognition on their annual pulse survey, and they get a 5-to-1 return on investment then this is only from staff turnover and absenteeism. We don't even take productivity gains into that because that's much, much harder to measure. But you can measure staff turnover, you can measure absenteeism. And for every euro that is spent on the recognition in terms of the software and the rewards, there's a 5 times return in the improvement in those metrics. There's simple pricing, which I won't go into too much detail. There's a setup charge for the platform. There is a platform fee of €202.50 per employee per month, minimum €400 a month, discounts above 1,000 employees. So come to us if you have more than that. And then you pay for the rewards. The reward store is points spent, not points issued, just the ones that are spent, plus 10%. The MasterCard are the points converted into a MasterCard, not the points given out. And it's €3 per MasterCard plus delivery. And so in conclusion, I would say 4 things. Proactively recognizing people for their good work delivers astonishing business results. But recognition is currently being underutilized. So only 1 in 3 companies are actually doing recognition in a meaningful way. So therefore, there's an opportunity, if you're not doing it already, to gain a strategic people advantage. And a strategic people advantage is a strategic business advantage vis-a-vis competitors. Recognition software delivers all the ingredients for effective recognition, like the what, the how, the when, the why. There's 2 hows in there. But it will deliver on what you need to make your recognition effective. And then if you don't even want any of that, recognition software reduces HR admin and ensures tax compliance, which is what some companies come to us just because they want that bit solved. And that's fine as well. So I'd really like at this stage then, before I go any further, because I'm going to do a demo, I'm going to attempt a demo, but I'd just like to do a quick poll on recognition programs. And I'd like to just ask very simply, does your company have a recognition program? Yes or no? So it's a lot of responses coming in. Any more? Okay. Oh, one more. One more. Anyone for the last chalk ices? Okay. So results there, 59% of participants say have a recognition program, which is great. 41% have no recognition program at the moment. So I'd like to actually also relaunch this one. I'd like to relaunch one, which is recognition software. Does your company use recognition software? So 60% of companies are doing recognition, 40% are not. How many people are using recognition software? It needs to be, will be lower than the 60%. And okay, and the results of that poll say that 14%. So 40% of attendees today have recognition software in their company, 86% have not. So if you think about it, 60% are doing recognition, 14% are using software. Therefore, quick maths, 45% of companies are doing recognition, in-house or on their own. So that's maybe something to think about going forward. Now, so I said that I would attempt to show a quick demo of the software. So before we get into some questions, I'm just going to do that. So All Go Live is our own internal recognition program here in All Go. Now, we have 20 staff. At the end of the year, we have 40 because we do the seasonal MasterCards. But we have 20 staff throughout the year. And I'm just going to explain very quickly how this works. We've branded it All Go Live, but if you looked at any of our other clients, this will be branded completely differently. Our currency, our points are called thumbs up, and we've configured it so that 1 thumbs up is €5. So that's pretty generous, right? Everybody in the company gets 10 credits per month. Everybody, regardless of their position in the company, they get 10 credits to reward other people with. So 1 credit equals 1 thumbs up equals €5. So I've only used 2 of my credits so far. I've got 8 credits left. And I've got 4 thumbs up, so I'm not very popular in my own company. So this is my budget every week, every month, I should say. If I don't use my credits, I lose them. and then they start again with another 10. And different companies have different ways of doing this. They have quarterly credits that don't expire, quarterly credits that do expire, annual credits that expire at the end of the year, monthly credits that carry over but expire at the end of the year. It really depends on the company. We work with you to make sure that the program fits with your budget and what you're trying to achieve out of it. So I'm going to do a peer recognition reward in a second. I'll just have a quick look down here. So this is an example of an ad hoc reward that I gave myself very generously yesterday, seeing as no one else was doing it. Congratulations, Gary, you've been awarded 2 thumbs up, so €10. And there's the message. Well done on organising the Recognition Hub demo. Well, so far, so good. Then if I go down, go on award, these are peer recognition awards. So Hannah has been rewarded by Leanna. Thank you for helping out Practical Solutions on queries on comms. She's got 1 thumbs up. So this is a €5 award for being professional, being open and honest. And every peer recognition, every nomination that comes from a manager or an employee has to have an explanation, but also has to nominate a company value. We've got 3 company values: proactive, professional, and positive. And every reward that's given out has to highlight one of those. Now we have social recognition switched on, so I can comment on any one of those I want and go, hi Hannah, hi Hannah, really well done. I can like different awards as well as we go down, or comment, and everyone else can see these awards. So that's the way we've set it up. Other companies will only allow social recognition that you can view, that you can't interact with. Others have no social recognition whatsoever. But I go in here as a manager at least once a week and I see what's going on. I see who's getting recognized for what, and I add in my acknowledgement on top of it as well, bearing in mind that, a lot of these are people who report directly into myself. So your birthday rewards as well, automatically sent in, and you can get comments on that too. Obviously, service awards would look the same way. So let's just do an example of a reward. So if I want to reward someone now, and I'm going to reward Aileen, my co-panelist, I'm going to reward her for being really proactive, taking ownership. So proactive, professional, positive are values, and we have 3 related behaviors in each one. Over here, we explain what they're about, so you can see the values, and it's under supporting the values and the behaviors every time. And I'm going to say thanks a million for getting so, or maybe not thanks a million, but well done. Whoops. Oh, and of course, live demo was going so well that I clicked out of it. So let me just do that again. I can do it over here on the right, or I can do it over here. So sorry, Aileen. She must be cringing. So showing initiative, proactive showing initiative. So well done. I'm getting so many attendees today on the webinar. If I could type, I'd be dangerous. So I've selected Aileen, I've put in a value and a behavior. Now I'm going to select a reward. These rewards are predetermined by the company again, in line with the credits that you get and the budget. So I could give Aileen a Go On award, which is 1 credit out of my 8 that I've left for the month. That's €5. I could give her a Go You reward, 2 credits, €10. Go Large, 3 credits, €15. Or a simple thanks. If I run out of credits, or some companies just have simple thanks for maybe employees and credits for managers, I can give her just a simple thanks, no credits, no reward. But I'm feeling generous, I'll go for 2. So I'm going to give her a €10 reward for this. I'm nominating Aileen Lynch in marketing at the Digital Hub for Go You, 2 credits for being proactive, showing initiative. Well done. I'm getting so many attendees on today on the webinar. So I sent that off to her. She's going to get emailed straight away with the reward. But it's also going to appear here in the timeline, and because we have social recognition, everybody can see it. I can DM her if and just say, hey, that was really well done today. Other people, she can DM me back if she wants. It's a limited DM. It's not everybody trying to DM different people. But everybody can now see that Aileen has got rewarded, and they can contribute and add in their comments as well. And another feature we're bringing in And the next file is that you'll be able to like, comment, and also boost a reward if you want to add an additional credit. Use one of your credits to give it an additional reward. So I can obviously see all the nominations I've made and the reasons why. Keep track of that. I can see the thumbs up I've got and the reasons why. I can see my team because I'm a manager, and I can look into each one and see what they're getting and sort of do a quick analysis. Maybe once a week it'll help go into certain people and see what they've been doing, what they've got. Obviously, how it works is quite big with FAQs and explanation of the service awards that people get as well, and the value. So once again, there's because everything supports the company values, it's highlighted here on its own page. So there's an education piece here as well for that. In terms of spending, like I said, there's two options. One is that you spend them in the reward store. Now we have the reward store here so that people can see it and can see all the great stuff that they're getting and can pick out restaurants, or they can pick out entertainment or shopping and go and spend their points. And every country is different. So if this is in the UK, would have a different selection. If it's in the US, it would have a different selection. Depends on the country that the employee is based in. In our case, we actually have point spending switched off because we are using the small benefit scheme. So sorry, you can't spend your thumbs up in the reward store. Instead, your thumbs up will be automatically converted into a tax-free MasterCard gift card twice a year in January and in July. So in July, my 4 thumbs up, my 20 euros will be given to me in a digital MasterCard gift card tax-free. So, you know, other people will be earning probably an awful lot more than that, which is great. The more rewards that are given through the system, up to everybody's budget, and including birthday rewards and service awards and any ad hoc rewards we do, will be added together and then converted. So that is the demonstration of the actual platform itself. On the surface, very simple, straightforward to use, we hope. In the back end, quite sophisticated in what it can do and very configurable. So that concludes my part of the webinar, and I'd be delighted to hear any questions that have come in, or questions that anybody wants to ask, either in person or through the Q&A session. So please feel free to answer. Can you share slides after the webinar? Yes, we will. We'll be sending out both the slides and the recording if you want to see that as well. That's coming from three different people. Another question here. Hi, recognizing items such as life events. This is very difficult in view of revenue rules. We max 2 gifts a year. So if a person gets married, any bonuses, how does one recognize staff and balance with revenue rules? And Helen, I hope I've answered that already, because the way to do that is through a points-based recognition program, either using software like we've just shown you, or doing it in-house yourself, depending on the number of employees. So that's how you can do it. If you do it on a platform, it sort of works a little bit better, right? Because it's hard to just do points for life events like getting married without, you know, without having a sort of system that's going to make it look official, for want of a better word. But that is the way to do it. And it's funny, only in Ireland are we fixated because on tax, right? For recognition, because there's such a great tax incentive there from the government. In most other countries, tax doesn't come into it, because recognition, if it's been done, is going to be paid for. Both the rewards and the tax on it, the BIK, is going to be paid by the company. So it's double the cost. And companies still invest in it much more heavily than probably in Ireland, because of the benefits that recognition gives to the company rather than the tax break that it affords. So everyone's presentation recording, that's great. Does the platform integrate with Bamboo HR Teams? This is Recognition Hub. It doesn't integrate with Bamboo HR Teams yet. Most companies are sending us a monthly update file of their employee database, and we're looking at integrations into Teams and into Slack in the next while as well. What would you do to increase engagement for clients who have recognition programs with us? Well, that's a good question. So if recognition programs can evolve over time. So we have a lot of clients that come on board. We start off with a simple, you know, maybe service awards only program. And then over time, add in maybe manager awards, and then maybe peer-to-peer recognition, maybe birthday rewards, maybe performance awards, maybe ad hoc rewards, maybe a company bonus that's tax-free. So keeping it fresh is a really good way, adding in extra elements. Starting off with small bit of social recognition, then adding in boosts, adding in likes and comments. So lots and lots of ways to keep programs fresh and engaged. But like I said, we have 90% plus engagement from employees in our client companies on this program. And that's not just in year 1, that's in year 6, 7, 8. 90% of people still are engaging in some of our oldest clients. And the reason for that is because recognition works and because it becomes embedded into the culture of the company if done correctly, and it affords the companies those advantages those benefits that we've gone through, and employees love it, and so it becomes part of the daily work, and part of the daily work culture, and so yeah, 90% plus engagement is quite a good return, I think, that for an application that's trying to solve what on the face of it seems a tricky thing maybe to do to increase employee engagement. But actually, when you focus on it and get into it, use the right systems and set up a program the right way, it can actually be achieved relatively easily. And it can be done tax-free if you're in Ireland. So I think is there any more questions? Like I said, the slides will be given out later. But it is now coming up to 1:45. And if there are no more questions, I'd just like to say again, thank you very, very much for attending today. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you picked up some interesting information that you can bring back to your businesses. And if there are any follow-up questions, of course, we're here to do demos and meetings at any stage and go into specifics for different companies, because each program we run for each of our clients is different and is configured differently for each client's budget and each client's goals that they want to get out of it. So thanks a million. I hope you have a great day, and I hope we'll see you back again at our next webinar in a few months' time. Take care. Bye-bye.